I'm just going to get right into it. I didn't really grow up with much of a Catholic foundation. I was baptized as a baby, but that was about the extent of it. As a family, we really didn't pray together. We didn't go to Mass. I didn't even own a Bible until I was 18. The home that I grew up in, it was chaotic, it was abusive, it was difficult. And as I got older, I just drifted further and further away from any belief in God. And by the time I was in high school, I considered myself an atheist, but agnostic at best. I thought if there was a God, he definitely doesn't love me. And I felt very, very alone at that time in my life. At 17, I left home and I got my own place. I was trying to survive and trying to build a life and to escape everything that I had come from. But inside, I was really empty and angry and lost. And when I was 18, my life kind of took a turn that I'll never forget. I was involved in a break-in and I was shot in the chest at gunpoint. And I remember laying there bleeding and thinking to myself, wow, this is all there is. This is how it's all going to end. And I expected everything to just kind of go black. There's no light, there's no heaven, there's no God, there's no nothing. And I was absolutely terrified. But I survived that. And after surgery, I was lying in the hospital, and a Catholic priest came in to give me what was at the time called last rites. And part of me was relieved because I didn't want to die alone. But another part of me was really angry because he represented a God that I really didn't believe in. So I was rude. I pushed him away. I told myself that I didn't need his prayers, but something about that moment stuck with me. And after I got out of the hospital 8 days later, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I decided I'm going to go back and find that priest and I'm going to apologize to him. And after that conversation, as simple as it was that I had with him, that was the first small step that started to lead me back home. I started going to church again, but honestly, I didn't really feel a lot at that time. I was still really angry, really doubtful, still searching for something I couldn't name. And life kind of went on. I went to college, I got degrees, got a good job, got a doctorate. I had lots of nice things, but no matter how much I achieved, everything still felt really, really empty for me. Then in 2023, my life changed again. This time, a close friend of mine, someone I really cared about, had a heart attack on Christmas morning, and I was there. I did CPR and I called 911 and I did everything I could, but he died right in front of me. And he had a very strong faith. I didn't. So I was angry at God again that it all happened, and especially on Christmas morning. I remember walking the cross at night and shouting why and asking God, why did you let this happen? Why did you take someone from me? But I kept showing up anyways because somewhere deep down inside, I hoped that maybe God would show up too. And one night he did in a very unexpected way. On one of those walks, I met another parishioner who invited me to something called ChristLife. And I didn't know what it was, but I decided to go. I was really desperate for answers. And through ChristLife, I met people from all walks of life, some that were really strong in their faith and some that were searching just like me. But what struck me was that everyone who was there was looking for something real. And they talked about having a real relationship with Jesus, not just knowing about him, but actually knowing him. And that was new for me because to me, God had always felt distant and unreachable. But through Christ's life, I began to see that Jesus wasn't far away at all. He was close and personal. And as I went through the rest of the sessions, something in me began to change. And I even became a table facilitator because I loved it so much. And for the first time, I began to see God not as someone I feared or resented, but as someone who loved me deeply. And after finishing the program, I wanted to know more. So I did something I never thought I'd do, and I applied to the seminary. And now I'm studying theology and I'm training for the lay ecclesial ministry program. So all of this to just say that I don't stand here today as someone that has it all figured out. I stand here as someone who is found by God. And if my story says anything, it's just that God never stops pursuing us, even when we're running in the opposite direction. And even when we've given up on Him, He never gives up on us. And this program helped me to see that even though I thought I was too far gone for God to care, He's the same God that met me in the hospital room, the same one that walked with me through my grief, and the same one that led me into this community of faith, and the same God that never stops calling my name. And if He can do that for me, I believe that He can do that for anyone.